See, in 2006, I came to Government of India on deputation.
And Praful Patel was your minister at that time?
Praful Patel was the minister, and I became Joint Secretary to the Ministry of Civil Aviation. He was the minister.
Right.
And, I was put in charge of the airports. So, I felt that the country does not have really good airports. Delhi and Bombay airports were given out to the private people, but their development work was to start. Likewise, in all other cities, airports, smaller airports were there. They're not of really high standard. So we took it as a mission that we must build airport infrastructure all over the country. And bigger airports where the private people are interested, it should be developed through PPP mode. And smaller airports, or you can say tier 2 cities, airports, where private would not be immediately interested, this would be developed Airport Authority of India funds. So a massive program of airport infrastructure development was launched throughout the length and breadth of the country. So all these airports, what you are seeing today, they were started in that period. I was there, from 2006 to 2008. So all these projects were started. And today we have reached a state that we say very proudly that our airports are the best in the whole world.
Right.
So that gives me tremendous amount of happiness and satisfaction of the work that we did in that period.
I'm sure. And now we're hearing a lot of airports being the Adani airport. वो controversies ही होते हैं. Because I think for the public, that imagination. So what really happens? I mean...
See, we had a policy...
How do you maintain a transparency?
Yes. We had a policy in our time that no company will be given more than 2 airports, for operation development. But subsequently, the Government of India, felt that there's a requirement of getting more people and some relaxations required. So this ceiling has been removed, and that's how Adani could get more airports. Adani Group is a really very big group in infrastructure sector. There's nothing wrong in that. What is really required is that the purpose for which the airports have been given out to the private people, that means they should really develop it,
maintain it,
improve the facilities, make them at the world class kind of thing. As long as that is happening, one should feel happy about that. The policy changes keep taking place in the government because nothing is static really.
Yeah.
So once you take it in that stride.
Yeah, I think you were at the helm when Kingfishers was there.
Yes, Kingfisher. Actually, 1992 when the civil aviation sector was open for private airlines operators. Several companies, they came in. Deccan Airways started.
Yes.
Kingfisher came. Sahara was there. Yeah. Jet started,
I remember.
Then a few other smaller ones were there. They were all started. Our idea was that though I was not looking at the airline side, but the idea of the ministry was that we should have more and more players. Competition should be built up because more and more competition taking place, the passengers will get the best service.
Absolutely. And I think coming to competition, today, unfortunately or fortunately, there's a duopoly that they're saying, right? But I think I remember a lot of us were fans of Kingfisher at that time because the kind of quality of service it gave. And the joke is that all our miles kind of vanished because Jet Airways, we had miles, wo chale gaye, Kingfisher. So I think, I don't know whether the business environment at that time really supported the infrastructure, but I think as customers, we lost a lot of miles.
Airline, business is one which operates in a very, very thin margin of profit. The profit margin is as low as 3 to 5%, which means that if you want to really have a profitable kind of business in airlines, you have to be highly efficient. And you should not indulge into any kind of extravaganza, and expenditure control should be there. So while Kingfisher provided very good service, but I think they could not control the cost
Control the
part.
costs. Yes, yes.
And Jet Airways was doing quite well, but they also needed some capital infusion at some point of time, which they were not able to provide. Anyway, when these situation came, I was not in the ministry, but if had I been there, my approach would have been to change the management. Instead of allowing the airlines to die, change the management. Government of India did it in case of Satan Computers.
Yes, yes.
When they ran into a problem, then Government of India swung into action, and the management was taken out from Raju's and given out to Ramling Raju, and then given out to Tech Mahindra.
Yes, the Mahindra.
And the company has not only survived, they're doing extremely well.
Yes.
Similar kind of thing could have been done here. I really do not know the reason as to why this was not done. But in the process, thousands and thousands of families lost their livelihood, and this situation of duopoly, what we're saying, has got created.
Yes. So coming to this duopoly, and you've been so inside this thing, there's a lot of backlash on Indigo. And, there are statements being made that probably Indigo is not caring enough for the government to be held accountable. They're just getting away with decisions. What's your impression on that?
See, my take on this one is that this new flying duty limitation hours
Of the
these rules,
pilots, that's
pilots,
from 36 hours to about 48 hours is what.
Not only that, several other things.
Right.
For the pilots and also the crew members.
Right.
So this was brought in by the DGCA through an order in 2024.
Right.
And this was nothing new what DGCA has done. This is a norm which is followed universally. As you know, so far the aviation sector is concerned, unlike other infrastructure sector, this one has got an international dimension. Because our flights go to other country, their flights come to our country, etc. So the International Civil Aviation Organization, whatever standard they set in, whatever regulations they bring in, everybody has to align with that. So the new rules what DGC has notified was in conformity with the ICAO regulations. Like all other airlines, Indigo also should have followed that and accordingly started preparing themselves. Somehow the impression what we are getting from the newspaper, though I had no occasion to talk to anybody in Indigo, that they did not do that. I would also say that there was some bit of I would say problem from the DGCA side also, because if Indigo was not preparing itself, not recruiting additional pilots, not recruiting additional crew members, why the oversight of DGCA was lacking? As a matter of fact, every 3 months, the DGCA ought to have called meeting of all the airlines and reviewed their preparedness. So DGCA also failed there, and Indigo of course did not comply.